Hey friends, my name is Jennifer Terri. I make Philippine Travel Updates. In this video, we'll talk about flights going in and out of the Philippines for the month of April 2022. International and a little bit of domestic in all ports of entry. Let's start with some updates. Very good news for the month of April. Starting this April, there will no longer be an arrival capacity limit for unvaccinated passengers. No vaccinated or unvaccinated, there will no more be arrival capacity limit. So we can expect that flight frequencies to the Philippines will increase. In fact, there are also improvements on domestic travel in the Philippines. Manila Airport Shuttle Transfer Service is back. It operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is very good news for those with connecting flights in other NAIA terminals. So you may avail of this service free of charge as long as you show your boarding pass. While AirAsia, AirSwift, and CebGo have returned to its home, NAIA Terminal 4, after 2 years of hiatus, Terminal 4 has operated again last March 28. So if you guys have domestic flights, departure or arrival with AirAsia, AirSwift, CebGo, it will be in Terminal 4. Now on to international travel. It is also very good news that many countries have relaxed their entry requirements such that many countries now no longer needs negative test result for entry. So for example, if you're fully vaccinated traveling to Canada, Australia, Saudi Arabia, UAE, hindi na kailangan, no need for negative test result. While other countries, even if you are unvaccinated, also a negative test result is no longer needed, like UK, Mexico, Ireland, Bahrain, Sweden, Jordan. It is very good news indeed. So as always guys, always check your airline's website for the requirements for your country of destination. As to the Philippines, a negative test result is still required for entry to the Philippines. RT-PCR 48 hours or negative laboratory-based antigen test 24 hours before departure. So either of the two, it's your choice, RT-PCR or antigen test, whichever works for you. While for our kababayans going to the US also still requires a negative test result as of speaking, April 4, either antigen or RT-PCR, or if you have recently recovered from COVID, documentation of recovery and positive test results. Yan. While again, as I mentioned earlier, always check your airline's website. Airline's website po have the requirements. So for example, if you're flying with PAL, I'll put this link in the description box or in the comment section. So for example, you're going to Australia, it's there. Nakalagay na po yung requirements. If you're going to US mainland, it's there. Nakalagay na po. So always visit your airline's website. For example, Singapore Airlines then. Yan. Every country has different requirements. Some countries already lifted all. Wala nang requirements. So, sana all na lang. Yan, you can just put it in here. Okay, let's go ahead with the international flights. But before we go into that, a reminder by the NAIA International Airport to please arrive early for your flight po, because you have to allot ample time for security inspection, check-in, bag drop, and other pre-departure processes. This means passengers must be at the airport 3 hours before departure for domestic, while for international flight po, 4 hours before the flight. I know that's very early, but it's better to be early than late. Sure. Now let's go to international flights. Let's start with Clark International Airport. Their flight schedules for the month of April. For international flights, we have Jetstar, Singapore to Clark, Clark to Singapore. This is, wow, napakadami. They have every Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They also have Wednesday. While with Scoot Airlines, Singapore to Clark, Clark to Singapore, that's daily. Wow, every day. And then Jeju Air, Incheon to Clark, Clark to Incheon every Thursday and Sunday starting April 24. While with Jin Air, They have every Tuesday and Friday, and Wednesday and Saturday po if you want direct to Clark. While for our kababayans in Middle East, Qatar Airways po daily Doha to Clark, Clark to Doha, Emirates din Dubai to Clark, Clark to Dubai. While domestic flights po in Clark International Airport, there are 3 domestic airlines that operate there. There is Air Asia if you want to go straight to Boracay, Clark to Katiklan, Katiklan to Clark. There is Cebu to Clark with Cebu Pacific and Philippine Airlines with Cebu Fac daily pero kung PAL every Monday, Wednesday at Saturday lang. Anyways, malapit lang naman yung NAIA if you wanna go back to Manila through land travel. Now let's go to the second biggest international airport arrivals in the Philippines and departure, that is Cebu. Let's see, for the month of, this was posted last March pa. They haven't posted for April, but let's check it out. For Philippine Airlines, Narita to Cebu, Cebu to Narita, April 2 and 16. Qatar Airways daily, Emirates daily po from Dubai. Scoot, Singapore, 5 times weekly po siya. Jeju Air, every Wednesday lang. Jin Air, every Monday lang. Cathay Pacific to be announced. Last month, they only had 1 day lang na flight because really hit hard, no? By COVID surge, pero things have improved there na, and I heard they are relaxing na. So let's wait for Cathay Pacific announcement for April. While for Turkish Airlines, Istanbul to Cebu, Cebu to Istanbul, 3 times weekly po. Domestic flights in Cebu, plenty. There's so many domestic flights in Cebu po. There's in Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. They are PAL, Cebu Pacific, Air Asia, Air Swift. Now, let's go to Philippine Airlines flight schedule for the month of April. Now, the best advantage of Philippine Airlines is that they have direct flight. If you're coming from the US, North America, Canada, US, ito talaga guys, direct flight. Wala nang layover. So, I think this is the most convenient, especially if you're traveling with kids, senior citizens, because it is a direct flight. Now let's go check some Philippine Airlines plane ticket prices. Now, if you have noticed on the US flights, it has increased the frequency. So mas madami na po yung flights going to the US or coming from the US to the Philippines. Some flights that used to be 5 times lang is now daily. Well, the direct flight, Los Angeles to Cebu is no longer available. So all flights from the US will now land to Manila if you're flying with Philippine Airlines po. Wala na pong Los Angeles to Cebu, at least for the month of April. So let's start with Los Angeles to Manila flight. Manila. So leaving Los Angeles on April 25, going back on May 25. Let's see. So that's exactly 1 month of stay in the Philippines. So of course, the prices here will be expensive, guys, since we're booking just a few weeks before the flight. Now, if you want to get it cheaper, you have to book 2 months in advance, 3 months in advance, or even longer. So Los Angeles to Manila, on April 25, the cheapest here is $1,173.30 US dollars. That includes ito na. That includes 2 pieces at 23 kilos per piece, 50 pounds po. If you want to add, you have to buy prepaid baggage. So going back to Los Angeles, Manila to Los Angeles on May 25, here we have, mahal pa rin, 1,065, merong mas mura, 880 economy, 880 US dollars. So let's go. So total price, guys, if we want to fly with PAL, Los Angeles to Manila, we leave on April 25, then we go back Los Angeles on May 25. Total po is 2,054. $2,054 US dollars. So let's check naman other routes. Let's go with San Francisco. We leave April 28, then we go back Los Angeles mga April 20. So that's 3 weeks of stay in the Philippines. Right, we have San Francisco to Manila on April 28. That's for $948. Okay. And then going back to San Francisco on May 20, the cheapest we have is $600. So total price with Philippine Airlines po upon checking today, April 4, April 28, then we go back May 20, $1,549.17 US dollars. Yan. Ang taxes and fees and charges natin nasa 344. Medyo mahal, no? Yan, guys. 1,550. Yan. April 28, balik ng May 20 with PAL. Lastly, let's check New York. New York to Manila. We leave on April 20. We go back on May 25. So that's more than 1 month of stay in the Philippines. So guys, former Filipinos who have been naturalized as US citizens and hindi na nag-apply ng dual citizenship, you can stay up to 1 year in the Philippines. And if you want to stay longer than that, you can apply for extensions at the Bureau of Immigration Office. Pero 1 year, no need for extension kung 1 year lang or within 1 year. So New York to Manila, we leave New York on April 20. Then we go back on May 25. Let's see. So Philippine Airlines has the advantage that they fly direct, no? But for New York flights po, New York to Manila, it will have a stopover in Vancouver for an hour. That is due to airspace closure concerns. They are avoiding the Russian airspace. So yeah, you have there will be a stopover in Vancouver for an hour. Okay, so for April 21, New York to Manila, that's 1,088. Okay, and then going back to New York on May 25, that's 1,000. So total price po is $2,094 US dollars. Again, it's pricey because we are booking just 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the flight. If you want to get it cheaper, you should book in advance, like 2 months, 3 months. So let's check nga, how about if we book months ahead? So for example, Honolulu, Hawaii. Honolulu to Manila on July 15, that's $898 US dollars. And then going back to Honolulu from Manila, 570, that's economy saver. We are choosing the cheapest available. So if you fly po with Philippine Airlines, if you're checking for this month, at least April, July 15, then go back August 16, that's for $1,469 US dollars. Now let's go to Canadian flights, Canada flights. So very good news for those going to Canada. Flying to Canada, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't need to show a negative test result. So let's go for flights to or from Canada with Philippine Airlines. Vancouver to Manila. We leave Vancouver on April 17. Yan, mahal to kasi we're booking just a few weeks before the flight. April 17 and go back May 17. Alright, Vancouver to Manila on April 17. That's for 1,469 Canadian dollars with checked baggage 2 pieces at 23 kilos or 50 pounds per piece. And then going back to Vancouver, I'll choose the direct flight because it's cheaper. So if you fly po with Philippine Airlines, you leave Vancouver on April 17 and you go back May 17. Checking today, that's for 2,429 Canadian dollars. 2,430 Canadian dollars po. Toronto to Manila. We leave on, let's say, May 10. We go back June 10. Alright, from Toronto, Manila, let's see. The cheapest we can find here is this one, 1,736 with a layover. With a layover in San Francisco for 30 hours and 35 minutes. Okay. And then Manila to Toronto, let's see, the cheapest we have is this one, 1,207. So if you fly po with Philippine Airlines, you're coming from Toronto. You leave Toronto on May 10, then you go back on June 10. That's for 2,943 Canadian dollars. Yan, 2,943. Now, let's check magkano yung mga Middle East flight. So, Manila, mag-start tayo Riyadh. I-1 week ko lang guys ha. Riyadh to Manila. Let's say mga April 30. Tingnan natin kung meron pang available. So, kung kukunin natin itong flight na ito, Riyadh to Manila, aalis ng April 27, nasa 2,254 Saudi Arabian Riyals. Mahal siya guys kasi of course, nag-check tayo. Ilang araw na lang bago ang flight. Now, let's go check some prices for Philippine Airlines, Australia, New Zealand flights. Let's start with Sydney. Total po, if you fly with Philippine Airlines, you're leaving Sydney on May 16, going back on June 16. That's for 1,115 Australian dollars. That is just yung pinaka-basic na prepaid baggage. If you want to add, you have to pay more. Melbourne. So total price, if you leave Australia on April 26, you go back on May 26, that's 551, and then 491. Total price is 1,042 Australian dollars with Palpo. That's checking today, April 4. Now, let's check for Japan po. Let's do Tokyo. Tokyo, Narita to Manila. Magkano kaya? How much? Ilalagay ko na lang po one way kasi mga OFW baka mga end of contract na kayo. Tokyo, Narita to Manila. Tingnan natin. April, gawin na lang nating May guys. May 10. Tingnan natin magkano. Kasi Japan, diba, closed pa for tourists. I'm sure medyo mahal itong tickets galing or papuntang Japan. Basta close yung country sa turista, mas mahal po yung mga tickets papunta doon. Kasi mas konti yung mga airlines na nagfa-fly doon. Alright, Philippine Airlines, Tokyo to Manila, that's for 109,860 Japanese yen. Magkano ba yan sa peso? I-search ko. Let's see. 46,000. Mahal talaga. 46,000. One way pa lang to. With PAL to guys ha. Check na naman natin iba. Check natin South Incheon, Korea. Incheon to Manila. Let's try lang natin for this month. April 30. Economy. Alright, here we have Seoul to Manila, Incheon. 419,100 Korean won. Let's convert nga para maintindihan ko kung gaano siya kamahal. Okay, not bad. 17,737. Not too bad. Let's check Bangkok, Thailand. Bangkok, Thailand, one way. Bangkok on April 25. Here we have Bangkok to Manila on April 25. That's 8,695 baht. Let's see how much is that. 2 peso. Oh, 13,000. Not bad. Not too bad. It could have been cheaper, considering this is very close to the Philippines. 8,695 baht po. If it's with PAL po, you're leaving Bangkok on April 25. So this is all for this video po. I hope this video helped you and guided you a little bit on international flight schedules and prices and things to remember. As always, stay updated with Philippine travel rules and your country then kung saan ka pupunta and you're coming from. It is still the pandemic and there are still some restrictions in place. God bless you all and safe travels to the Philippines or leaving the Philippines. Bye.